I see you, boy. Manatee Hurricane. Man, it's just overwhelming, Billy, really, because it's a culmination of a lot of years and the memories that we have and the dedication that he's shown to us by putting some great stuff in us, teaching us how to love the Lord, how to love each other, be kind, respectful. And I Coach Shannon, let me sum up with 4 words. The RAR philosophy. The first R stands for respect. Respect yourself, respect others. The A stands for attitude. Your attitude will determine your altitude in life. Responsibility, you got to take responsibility for your own action because, as my grandmama would say, who wipe your booty when you do Moody? I said, me. She said, you got that responsibility. Praise the Lord and pass the chicken. And then the E stands for education. We received a great one at Lincoln Memorial High School, but even higher than that, to know whose you are because God is in charge of everything. And those are the kind of things we had because we had devotion every single morning at Lincoln Memorial High School during my era. We did not leave the Lord out. We included him. Before games, we had prayer. After the games, we had some talking too. And now in life, I talk about it all the time because right here at 216 18th Street East in Palmetto, Florida, when they first was building this house, my daddy had that service station over here. I used to watch Fat Washington and the rest of the guys come over here and help him clean the property and build this home. So he's a combination of a lot of things. And for sure, young man, if you've ever been around Coach Shannon long enough, he's going to tell you this. If the weather kills your crop, you keep it going. If you fail to get on top, you keep it going. If you're broken down to your very last dime, being broke ain't no hanging crime. Tell the world you're feeling fine. You keep it going. Coach Shannon, he was a master motivator. He could make you believe that you could hang your jersey, your pants up on a nail, jump in them without using your hands and don't scratch your back on the nail. Okay? I mean, we were motivated. We didn't think anybody was ever better than us, no matter what the odds might seem. Nobody. We were diehard Trojans. We are diehard Trojans. And he taught us to just fight on. Everything ain't gonna always be the way you want it to be, but you just keep fighting on. And it's gonna work out pretty soon if you trust God. So those are the lessons that we learn. Oh, and another thing, your hygiene. And Brother Roundtree is right here beside me. Let me tell you something right now. When you came to Lincoln, you better not be smelling like you want to be by yourself because he'd embarrass your butt. You've got to go in there and one quote that he had. He said, "Did you wash everything, Johnson?" I said, "Yes, Coach." He said, "Did you hit the hot spot?" I said, "Yes, Coach." See, I ain't gonna tell you what the hot spot is, but anyway, he wanted you to be decent in the mind, decent in the heart, and have a clean body also. You want to look good, feel good, and be good. On the day of the filming, we were over at the old football field. And when I saw the guys that were coming up, the memories just flooded my mind. The Wade Bellamy's, the Raymond Barnes, the Herbert Gants. All these guys were before me. And I just thought about guys that weren't there like Rudy Perriman and then Edgett Hart, guys that Robert Hamilton, just great memories, man. And then we started shooting with Mr. Clapsaddle and the crew. And he almost broke his leg that day. I can remember that very well. He stepped in a deep hole, but you know what? He kept it going. He didn't let that stop him. And we shot about 5 different times to get it the way he thought it should be. And then in 2009 at the Miami Film Festival, when they announced us as the winner of the documentary for 2009 at the Doral Country Club in Miami, Florida, I will always cherish that moment. So it lets you never know what life has in store for you, but you just do the right thing, and God will bless you, man. God will bless you. His celebration is a culmination of, like you say, a lot of respect, a lot of work that went into it, a lot of love that went into it, kindness. Roundtree is one of the few people I've ever heard say this statement, and it's a true statement. I've never heard Coach Shannon talk about down anybody. I've never heard him talk, that person is this, never. He said, "Baby, it's going to be all right. Let's go for it. He all right." He didn't mean that. Never, even our opponents. He said, "Respect your opponents, but don't never forget you the best." So he had a way of drawing you closer, and that's what he's doing today. I was just over at Lincoln Middle School where they're lining up, and I see the mayor of Palmetto. I see the first responders. I see people that have come from miles around to be here, Jacksonville, Miami, just for this one occasion to celebrate this man's 100th year of being on this earth. A lot of us are not going to make it. Now, I don't think I'm going to make it. I didn't think I was going to make it past 21, to be honest with you. But God, God made it possible because I did some things, boy, some people just, Lord have mercy. The prayers of the righteous do avail them much. I know that for a fact. Well, let me give you this. My name is indeed Moody Johnson. I am Rosa Mae's son and Snake's boy from Palmetto, Florida, which is the garden spot of the South gateway to the booming North, where men and women are proud of it. I got dirt between my toes. I got a sand spur on my heel. I can run through the grove backwards, spit a seed on the bank, and watch the tree grow. And if you don't know, I'm going to tell you what my favorite meal happens to be. Buzzard lips and mosquito hips smothered down in termite rice and grapefruit gravy. But you know, none of that crap will matter then. Just tell the whole world, old nappy-headed Moody Johnson truly, truly love the Lord.
Well, many know him as Coach. We know him as just our grandfather, and he's our superhero. Literally, any and everything that we've ever wanted to do in life, he's always been our number one supporter. He's pushed us. He's never ever told us no in any dream or anything that we've ever wanted to do. He's always been strong with encouragement, pushing us to be the best that we could be. All right?
Rodney, what about you, sir? For me, it's been from what he meant for the community to what he meant to me. The entire majority of our family is educators, and it started with him and our grandmother. And with him is always pushing and seeking and looking into others. As an educator myself, that's exactly what I do. As far as giving back to the community, that's what we are. That's what we do. It's not a question. It's just a do. It's a job. And you do it with ease. And so for his meaning to us, he was never my coach. However, I was terrified if he would be my coach, just from the stories I hear. But even the folks that he did impact, just to see them come back and love on him, it's an amazing feeling.
Did you ever get a chance to see him coach at either Lincoln or Manatee?
No, I was too young. The one experience I do have, he was at Manatee. He had retired by this point, but he still kept going to the games. And I was sitting with my uncle, and we were sitting in the stands. I couldn't find him. I was a little kid then. Here recently, when I moved here, he went to the game, and he went to the locker room to give the pep talk. And I was just standing there, just with him. And a part of me was like, "Suit me up, coach. I'm ready. Put me in. Let's do it. Let's do it." I've never seen him coach, but I heard he was very good and very aggressive.
And what about you?
No, so the funny part about me is he actually was retired when I was born, so I've never seen him work. I've heard horror, well, not horror stories, I should say, but I heard that he spanked the entire city. He did do that. So I've never seen it, but I've heard all of the stories about how people say they wouldn't be what they are today if it wasn't for him. So that really means a lot, because when you have a whole city that's all saying the same thing, it really means a lot, because everybody sees him as the coach, as the legend. We just see him as our grandfather. It's large shoes to fill. Large shoes. I will tell you, I lived my life serving because I watched how he served, and how still at 100 years old, he's still taping people's ankles. So the service never stops. And we're just trying to live up to the level that he set. Okay?
What about you, Rodney? What about the respect your grandfather gets throughout the community?
I enjoy the respect. I'm glad he has the respect, solely because, like, if he goes for a walk, I don't have to stress. If we go to the store, I can't tell you how many people saying, "Hey, coach." And it's like, okay, 100 years old. All right, we're still doing it. Let's keep going. So the respect level that he has, I admire it. I would love to have it. However, I can't put my foot in his shoes, so it's kind of hard. It's some big shoes to fill. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the experiences he's given everyone. I'm grateful for the experiences he's given us.
Jason!
Hey, crazy cousin. All right. Mary Griffin. I got you, girl. Go, Shannon. That's that golf boy from Robonia. That's that golf boy from Robonia. Here comes Duran Adams, coach. Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge, Duran Adams. Yes.
Love you, man.
All right.
You're the best. Keep on
There you go. There you go.
Happy birthday!
Hey! Oh, folks, look at this. That's that Native Weary. Where the family? You got it? All right. Here comes Louis, folks. The bump started and Mr. Ernestine shot.
So first of all, tell us what Coach Shannon means to this community.
He's one of those guys that I guess he's a motivator. He's an encourager. He's a daddy. He's a friend. He's a granddad. He's all of that in the community. He walked down the street a couple of months ago, and the cars, people were blowing their horns at him. They were like, "Gail, do you know where your father is?" I was like, "Yes, I do." But they love him. They do love him and respect him a great deal. Well, he's always been a hero. People always ask, "Who's your hero?" Well, he was always here. He was here. My mother was here, and together they were a force to be reckoned with. So I've never thought of anything else. I didn't know him as coach. He was always daddy at home. So, um, and then when they said, "Oh, you know coach," and it was like, "Oh, you mean, oh, no, that's my dad." He's always just been dad to me.
Well, I knew how good a coach he was because I was one of his pupils. I, at my short size, played point guard on the basketball team. So I know how coaching he could do it, and how coaching he was when I started playing golf. Um, the education I got from him, who was not a golfer, but he knew all the techniques, and he told me how to hold a golf club and how to hold your head and the postures. So that's coaching, and he knew how to do all of that, even though he didn't play golf himself. So I knew what a great coach he was. So I graduated from Lincoln 1964. So I knew all the great teams, even as a small child, or when I started in seventh grade, and all the greats were ahead of me, and I cheered them on. And as I grew up, and the other ones came under us, I was a member. I was a part of all of that ferocity frivolity in that thing. I used to run through the tunnel, even though I didn't play football. I ran through the tunnel with him, and I cheered with him, and I was with my father all the time because I used to help him do all the little stuff after the practices and everything, make sure all the gear is in shape and is in everything was in place and that kind of stuff. So I was always there, even though I didn't play. So I knew all of the guys, and they all knew me.
And it was
Well, it's I've been living with him now here for about 6 years. And to say he gets up, I take him to all his doctor's appointments and all that type. And he is, and I've always said God has blessed him because he always took care of others. So God has blessed him because he gets up on his own. He was in the Navy, so he still makes his bed. He still cleans that room. It's straight every morning when he walks out. He dresses himself. He bathes himself. I don't do any of that. He comes out, he makes his coffee, he makes his Cheerios and bananas, and I basically take care of the rest of the day, his lunch, his dinner, his medications, and things like that. Take him to the doctor, and they are amazed at him. Even his doctors are excited when he comes by because they are truly amazed at him. Um, and I've always said God has blessed him to be healthy. He's in amazing health, and I don't have to do very much for him. I don't.
Well, I came into Manatee High in '83, and he was an inspiration right off the bat. He was the guy that took care of us, kept us taped up in any injuries back on the field. And most of all, he was just a big motivational guy that actually helped you each and every day of your life. It's not just respect. It just goes so deep into the community that he has influenced everybody's life. And he's touched every single person that's come through that school, even if you weren't in sports. He's just a student or anything to do with your life. If you got around Coach Shannon, he said hello to you. He was that type of guy that wanted to make your life better. He'd always tell you, he said, you want me to get your mind right? And he could get your mind right, you know? And that was the best thing about him. You know, I said one day before the game, I'm like, you know what, Chuck, you want to get your mind right? I said, yeah, let's get my mind right. And he said, you serious? I said, let's get my mind right. He got in that training room, we closed the door, and he pulled out that powder. I said, you know what? I thought a little bit differently now. I don't need to get my mind right now. There wasn't no part of that.
To be here today with Coach Shannon on his 100th birthday means a lot because if it wasn't for Coach Shannon, a lot of us, we would don't know where we'd be right now. So Coach guided us, mentored us, and motivated us a lot. So without Coach Shannon, to me, I don't know where I would be, the man I would be today. But I'm so proud to be here because of him. As a coach, he made sure everybody stayed in school. And if you didn't stay in school, he wanted to know why. He made sure you understood why he wanted you there and what it's going to lead to down the road. So I'm a graduate of Manatee High School. I played for Coach Shannon. And trust me, I know every aspect that he needs to put out there, that he put out there that made us who we are and to push us to where we need to be at today.
Oh, I'm teary-eyed because nobody that I know is more deserving for this turnout and even bigger turnout than this inspiring man who has been an inspiration to hundreds, if not thousands, of students and people in our community. An inspiration to me. And you heard him a little earlier about, keep on going. And this is that's a hallmark of Eddie Shannon that has inspired not just students, but people like me to be better citizens, respect other people, and to keep on going. I think good character would be the best way, to define Eddie Shannon. Good character in how you treat other people, and show your respect, and how you conduct yourself. And I think that our community is indebted, really, for him to keep on going. And I hope he keeps on going for another 100 years because you just can't be this kind of person who has been so good to our community, so uh, considerate of everybody in this community, and it's been my privilege, to have known him and followed him for years, and talking with others who had worked with him, worked for him, and I'm just very, very grateful, for him being part of our community. I think the whole community is so grateful that we have been blessed by God and by His family to have him, serve us and be an example for what we should conduct ourselves to be. And you can't help but love this guy. God loves him. I love him, and everybody here loves him. And this is just a very small way of everybody here saying thank you, Eddie, for being so good to us and good to the community.
This is great. This is wonderful. You can ask for anything better. I mean, to see the community, former students, alumni, everybody coming out showing their love and support. This is what all is about. And that's the way it should be. I mean, a living legacy. He's still with us, and God has blessed us to be a part of this, and we're showing our love and support. And as you can see from the crowd and from the parade, everything felt right in place. I think he connects for anything better. I think it's just a role model, a great role model. As a coach, that's what it's all about. If you look at the criteria of a coach to motivate, inspire, encourage, I mean, that's what he's all about. The things that he say, the players, I listened to some of them because I wasn't around that time, but I listened to them and they believed in what he said, and that's what it's all about. You can point something out and then you can see it executed. That is connects with anything better than that.
It's just great. The fact that Coach Shannon has held up that long just is a testament to what kind of man he was and is. We came up in the 70s. It wasn't too long after Lincoln had merged into Manatee High School, and he was just such a great influence on all of us. And we just think the world of Coach Shannon. That's why we had to come by today. He was a disciplinarian, but he was fair. For every time you got disciplined, he was the guy who would contribute money to some kid that didn't have lunch money or whatever somebody needed. He was there for them. So you didn't mind the discipline. Back in those days, it was, as he would say, we're going to get your mind right, and he would do that or do you a little favor. That was one of his sayings. But just a tremendous man, and I can't say enough coming from a community like this, I was from Cortez, which was a small and still is an older historical community, the same as Palmetto here. And we look at out east and all the growth that we've had, but Coach Shannon represents that small community, and he means so much to us. I think it's just a reflection on what Coach Shannon meant to everyone. The fact that they would take time out of their day to come by and just honor him, because the way he honored us for all those years, it's just he's a legend, and that's pretty much sums it up.
Hey, you making it hard on the coach. That's the love, coach. That's a lot of love up in there. Players love family. That's it. That's it. That's it. And a husband from Turkey Scratch. Oh. No, you from Turkey Scratch. I don't know. Coach Shannon, the wrong family. I think the wrong family. About the old one. Oh, you been got that side. Yes, sir. You're around and deputy. Hey. That's that Woody family, coach. That's Donald and his family. With the Jimmy Woody and all them. You and Jeremiah, we gonna hold all the chances. Well, you got that kind of privilege today, Rebel. Hold all the chances. I stay away from people because I'm COVID. When this here, I gotta come down here to coach.
Well, I live in Clinton, Maryland, so I flew down here personally for this event because Coach Shannon has been a pillar in this community as long as I can remember. In fact, throughout my entire lifetime. And I can't think of any person any better to be celebrated than Coach Shannon, because what he done for so many young men as we went out in the world and inspired of different things, there always a lesson that I reflect back to, remember some of the things he taught me and a lot of the young men that came through Lincoln Memorial High School. Not only that, I remember some of those punishments he gave us for doing things that wasn't proper, and we remember those things, and as we got to be more of adults, we took those lessons with us, and I think the majority of our success is being predicated on what Coach Shannon taught all of us. And I'm so grateful he's still here teaching lessons to us. And I will never miss an opportunity as long as he's here and as long as I'm alive to celebrate him because the value he had to so many people in this county that I'm very appreciative of. And thank you all for coming out here to cover this opportunity because a lot of history of people like Coach Shannon is not documented and is going unnoticed. And more important, I appreciate you guys for doing that. Based on what he done for this community and done for all of us, no matter what he want to do or ever want to do, we'll come to Coach Shannon because he been there for all of us. And he wasn't our biological father. In some case, he wasn't even no relation to us. But we never knew it because when we had a problem and had a need, he was there. And he taught us very well. And I have no regrets for the spankings I got from him with the paddle. I have no regrets from the lessons he taught me and some of the stirs he gave me when I was doing something wrong that I know that I should do better. So I think all of us, maybe Coach Shannon wasn't our father, but we need fatherly advice and couldn't get it from our home. We can always come talk to Coach Shannon, and he was always there for us. He always had time for us, no matter what the condition, and we all are very appreciative of that. Well, the atmosphere at Lincoln was very unique. When he was there, he sort of like built the football team because he lived in the community. So he knew who could run and who couldn't run. He knew who can block and who couldn't block. And he watched us develop. And as we came up, we didn't have to go out for position. Coach would tell you what position you playing. And that was so unique about that. And then when he got ready to go to Manatee, to be quite frankly with you, I thought he was going to Manatee to be the head coach because of the skill and the record. He had a resume. The resume showed that he should have been the head coach there. So personally for me, I was disappointed. But unfortunately for me, I couldn't lobby that because I was living in another city a long ways from here. And so therefore I couldn't lobby for that. But of course, the coach they had was an excellent coach as well. Coach Shannon went over there and worked with them. And the youth of those times got the same experience. Fortunate, the white kids got the same experience we got from coach. And I'm sure some of those can tell some of the same stories I'm telling. Because I came back to a few of the games because I had cousins playing at Manatee. And I shared some of the stories with them. And we had a lot of good fun with all races talking about Coach Shannon.
Well, when I first came here from Long Island in New York in 1970, my mom dropped me off at school at Manatee High School, and I hadn't realized that they just had started the busing, to integrate into schools. And I walked out, and all of a sudden I seen guys running around with bloody shirts and glass and bottles and bricks being thrown. I thought I was in a war zone, and so I started running towards my mom to catch up. And I ran into this little coach that stopped me and wanted and helped me out. Took me to the locker room to explain to me what was happening. It was Coach Shannon. This was back in 1970, and then he was my JV basketball coach. And he helped us. And he used to love to swing that paddle on us. Me and a guy named Warren Bell were always getting in trouble and always getting whacked with that paddle, but we loved him. It's just great because, it just brings the whole community together, in this area of the South. Now it's finally getting to where everybody's friends. I mean, we ran into a bunch of the guys here that we played ball with back in the 70s and stuff and brought back a lot of memories.
Well, when Coach Shannon came, I'm 82 years old myself. When Coach Shannon came, I was a 15-year-old boy trying to learn how to walk and talk. And went out and played football for him and Coach Hepburn, and they taught me everything I know about football and how to be a man, a young man. And I'm so grateful and thankful that he was a part of my life. I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to go on to Florida A&M and set records in basketball. I still hold records in basketball from Lincoln Memorial High School. I'm in the Hall of Fame at FAMU, all because of this gentleman. All right, and they retired my jersey 3 years ago. It's hanging in the rafters up at FAMU. So I'm so grateful to be able to share this moment with Coach Shannon. He's had so much effect on so many young men all across this county, black and white. And so I'm just so blessed to be a part of this event.
Well, I was a running back. I was halfway good, At least I thought I was. To Coach Shannon said, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that, So he's the man. So, hey, I did what he said, and I ended up being one of the, they tell me that I was one of the best running backs ever left Lakeland. And, and I had a scholarship, but my wife said, you got to take care of this baby. So, and that was it, So, what Coach was great. I tell you, he's a hard man to beat. He tell you the truth about things. If you did something wrong, he gonna tell you. I don't care how good you think you are. If you're wrong, he gonna tell you. And if you're right, he gonna praise you. And that's what I love about him. Great man.
Yeah, he didn't have nothing right by. He had a peacemaker, a little bowl for you. uh, but he helped raise us, and we still here, and none of us got in no trouble.
Well, look at this. You can just tell. I mean, to have this event, we had to praise. I don't know who organized it. I think maybe Moody Johnson, who organized this or thought about it. He's always kept Coach Shannon at the forefront and make sure that we celebrated him as we should have. And Mr. Floyd Roundtree, another gentleman that he trained him and taught him about how to be a trainer. He went to FAMU, and he was a great trainer at FAMU. And so we've always kept Coach Shannon in our hearts and our minds. And we love him greatly, dearly. As you can see, this is a great event. Thank you.
I thank him because you never know where they're going, when they're going, and how long they're going to be where they're going to be. So I told them, if the weather kill your crop, keep it going. If you fail, they get on top. Keep it going. Suppose you're broken out every dime, getting broken on crime. Tell her, whoa, you feeling fine, and keep her going. And I look around, they kept her going. So I appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
And I thank all of you for honoring me right now. That's gonna make my day, and I'm gonna keep it going.
All right.
Thanks,
All right.
Coach.
Yes, sir. We wish you many more birthdays.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, he's the backbone of our family, and just the fact that God would allow him to be here for 100 years is monumental. But for him to be such a, I don't know, to be so loving and part of the community, and that we're all able to participate in the celebration is huge. I mean, it's overwhelming. Um, I think that he has served as a role model for the community, but he served as a role model for his family. Many of his, all of his children, grandchildren, have tried to follow in his footsteps in some way to make the communities that we live in better. Some of us are educators, some of us are business people, but just making sure that we can leave a legacy just like he has left a legacy for Manatee County. Well, number one, he has a lot of grandchildren, great grandchildren, and I think that most of us remember just coming down, spending time. This being able to be the house where all the cousins and can come together and play and have a good time. And I think that when you think of family, and as you'll see today, it doesn't always mean that it's your nucleus. It means that it can be your extended family, it can be your community, and he has shown that to not only his immediate family, but to all of Manatee County. The thing is, when the community turns out like this, it's because he has touched each of those in the parade in some way. And we all kind of want to give someone their flowers while they're still alive. And so I really look at that as this is what we're doing.
Coach Shannon,
Hey.
I love you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for all you did for us. Be blessed.
Thank
I hope I live to be 100 years old.
God have mercy. Here come Ray Waldo Williams, coach. Miss Alberta's son, Miss Hook's grandson. From uptown. You better watch it. He ate a lot of hookah. He's slick. Yeah. Coach, you remember that night you made her throw down that Winston cigarette? Ray gave it to me. That's Brenda right there, coach. Old Brenda. My crazy cousin. Remember I got some crazy cousins.
Happy birthday.
All right, Brenda. Oh, Raymond Duck Bond. Change his number so that the opponent would know who he was running against that night. 14 Quickie. All right, on two. Yeah, watch that Sanford Perkins boy, coach.
You can't catch me now.
That's the one right there. Oh, no. And here come Mary Griffin, coach. She got all them flowers in the yard. You can't even turn around. Here come the mayor, coach. The mayor, Shirley Gruber. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yes, indeed.
We're here to celebrate Coach Eddie Shannon's 100th birthday. And as his niece, what does that mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. I am Coach Shannon's niece by his sister, Verdell, the oldest sister. So it was four of them. And he has been in my life as long as I have been here on earth. I actually used to ride to school with him at Manatee from the 9th grade to the 11th grade. He would pick me up and we would ride together. My mom and dad lived in West Palm Beach and Ocean City, Maryland, seasonally. And I can tell you, anytime my mom said, Eddie, bring Sharon A to Maryland, I was in Maryland. Bring Sharon A to West Palm Beach, I was in West Palm Beach. He's just very, very special to me. It means a lot. It's family. I think back to my grandmother and my grandfather, and he just is what my family is all about and what they instilled in us. So they were respected, and he came right up underneath them, and he is respected, and it's just a wonderful feeling. Just glad to be here and just to see people love him like they do. Oh, again, that comes from, I think, the way that we were raised to be a part of the community, to do whatever that you can do to help the community, no matter what it is. And he's just had that in him from as long as I can remember, as a little girl. And it's like words, no words I have for that. It's just a wonderful feeling to know that I am a part of him and to give back. And I see myself giving back too. But I just love it. It's just words. I don't have the words. It's just for 100 years old and not to know that none of the other siblings live that long. Yeah. So it's just a wonderful feeling. It's I don't know. It's just a wonderful feeling that I have, and I live in Virginia, and I could not wait to book a plane ticket because I knew that I was going to be here this weekend to celebrate with him.
My name is Latoya Gray, and I am from Marietta, Georgia, and I'm here to celebrate my granddaddy's 100th birthday. Well, it's really overwhelming, to be honest with you, but not surprising, just thinking of the legacy. We know what he means to us, but growing up, knowing what he means to the community as well. It means everything. It means that my kids have a amazing model, an example to look back on. My kids have someone even to look forward on beyond himself. It means that he has left something for this family really to be proud of. And I really couldn't be more prouder to be his granddaughter.
My thing to all of them was if your parents trying to get you further, school and whatnot, you gotta obey. If they say be home at a certain time of night, be there. It's not important for you to be anywhere else. Obey. Who giving you food? Who giving you rest? And the most important thing, who feeding you? If your parents stop feeding you, you're gonna go on a starving plan and you ain't gonna never do or get nowhere. So go home, go to bed, understand what they're saying. And most of them was in certain classes in school. I say, listen to the teacher and get your lesson if you plan it on going further. And I had a curfew for the teacher. You had to be in your house at a certain time. I don't care how old you was, I don't care how young you was. If you was in school where I was teaching, you be at home to your parents at a certain time. They the one feeding you. The school is not feeding you. They the one giving you the education. Do what they say. Obey. And a lot of them did. And I know they would put me under the jail if I was in the school now because I had a boat. I carried the boat with me. And if you was supposed to be in class at a certain time, I tell you to step around the corner. I didn't need to shoot you but one time. And the next time you see me, you be going where you're supposed to go. And that's what I did. And I'm blessed because I see a lot of the young folk that went through school, went on to college and went on other places. And they come back and they let me know I helped them. And I thank them very much.
Yes.
Have a good one.
My name's Nikki Tinker, and I am the granddaughter of Coach Eddie Shannon. My father was Ronald Shannon, and that's what brings me here with him today. It means to me that, hey, people love him just as much as we do, or as much, certainly. I have love for him. I came in from Alabama and would not have missed this for the world. I had a lot of obligations in Alabama, but the universe had to stop today in order for me to be here. And for me to be able to witness all of the love that Palmetto and the surrounding areas have for my grandfather, it means so much to me. Well, I remember one story. My father said no. I had some issues with my car, and I called my dad to tell my dad, in his words, I'd messed up. And so he told me he was going to teach me a lesson. Uh, I took it to a higher power. I took it to my grandfather, and my grandfather said yes. So he has always just been there. He's been a confidant, somebody I could call and rely on. The community seems to think he's tough. I don't think so. I've not seen him as a coach. I've seen him as nothing more than a prayer warrior with me and an encourager of mine and somebody that I could always count on and just rely on and love. You don't just wake up at 99 and have people come out for you like this. This is a network of his work that has been witnessed today. I've seen elected officials come. I've seen politicians. I've seen people from his church, people from his community, young, old, black, white. I've seen all different races, all different ages, all different sizes. And that is a testament of his life. And I just hope that I can do that. I hope I can live up to that legacy. And if he has anything to say about it, he'll get on me until I do that. So and that just shows me how powerful, how strong he is, not just within this house, but outside in the community as well.
She know exactly what I'm gonna tell her. She been this far, and I'm back to the old saying: you gotta continue to keep her going and doing the right thing if you want to go further. So keep her going.
We used to come every summer. Me and my sisters used to come and see Grandma Catman. We call him Catman. Used to come see Mother and Catman every summer. It means the world to me. Those summers slowed down, and so the older I got, those summers slowed down. But I always made a point to come and see him, and it's so significant because he's been such a pillar in this community. I remember being a little girl and him being a very important person here, and now that I am over 50, he's still an important person here. So to see people come out here, to have all of my family here, it's amazing. And it's such a blessing. Such a blessing. I mean, who can say they have a grandfather that's 100 years old? It just lets me know what kind of man he was. It lets me know how much he's loved, not just him, but how much our family is loved. And it makes me want to put a good name on the Shannon, on the Shannon name. It makes me want to aspire to be just like him, you know. Excuse just a little bit. That's all right. You see how excited they get? They're talking about my granddaddy. He just means so much to so many people, and he means the most to all of us. So it's very heartfelt. I'm very grateful. And again, the word I just keep thinking of is blessing. He is such a blessing to so many people, and I don't mind sharing him a little bit. Yeah, just every single moment I cherish with him. And because I live in Atlanta and I don't get here that often anymore, it just means even more to me every time I show up and he's able to say, Tina Mama.
Coach, what a turnout for your 100th birthday. What do you think of this celebration?
Well, it's great. Very seldom a man be old enough to witness something like this. And I got a many of people around here I taught. Some of them I just coached, and some of them I got grown. But when people around you a whole lot of time, I got something I always say. If the weather kill your crop, keep it going. If you fail to get on top, keep it going. Suppose you're broken out every dime, getting broken on crime, tell her, whoa, you feeling fine, and keep it going.
Coach, that's great. That's words to live by.
It's a wonderful thing. I'm blessed. But that many people to come around and see the old boy. A lot of time a man get old, he can't make no move to go nowhere so people can see him. So most of these folks, a lot of them are coached to the hostile, agile, and mobile. We ask no quarter and we give no quarter, and we kill a mosquito with an axe. So the thing of it is, I'm blessed too. I didn't kill a mosquito, but I brought him there.
And one more question for you, Coach, if I may. What would you like to say to this community about all the work that you've done, not only at Lincoln, where you were the winningest coach, but also when you went to Manatee? What would you like to say about what you've contributed to this community?
Well, one of the things I understand, You got to be willing to help. There's a whole lot of people I had a chance to help didn't even know my name. And I would say, I tell you what we got to do. You black, I'm white, we got to get ourselves together to keep it going. So I had a poem once, the weather, kill your crop, keep it going. If you fail to get on top, keep it going. Suppose you're broken out every dime, getting broke at no crime. Tell the world you feeling fine and keep it going. All right.
Thank you, Coach. What is your birthday message to Coach Shannon today?
First of all, happy birthday. But most of all, it proved that God truly loves us because he allowed him to stick around all these years, just not for me. Even my children, my grandchildren, and other generations can share in this moment. And people that are going to come black, white, green, yellow, it don't even matter today. It don't matter. Because if you got a little toe, you don't even think about it. You're thinking about Coach Shannon right now. You see what I'm saying? If you got a pain in your body, you ain't thinking about it. You're thinking about Eddie Morris Shannon today. And that's a beautiful thing right there. It's beautiful. I'm just glad Moody Johnson, got a chance to meet this man, to be with him. And just this past Tuesday, because I mowed the yard next to him, my sister-in-law's yard, he bought me a Gatorade soda. Whenever I mow the yard next door, he bring me a cold water or something. He said, boy, you need something. Come on here. And then he's going to tell you about the Navy. He's going to tell you about his experience in the Navy when he went and the first time he woke up on the water, he saw that and that. I said, that and that? I said, what's that, Coach Shannon? He said, I saw that sky and that water. Lord have mercy.
Granddaddy, happy birthday. We made it. It's 100. We're going to have some fun, enjoy it, and relax.
Granddaddy, you got three numbers behind your name, sir. Congratulations. We love you. We've been waiting for this, and we're so excited to finally be here.
To keep it going. Keep it going, which is his favorite saying. So I won't say it the whole poem, but that's what I'd love to say to him. Just keep it going, and I'm gonna follow right after you.
Well, I'm having a hard time even believing he's 100. But like others, when I see him, it's just difficult for me. But I'm so proud of him. I'm proud of his accomplishments. He's been, such a wonderful dad. He is. He's a wonderful dad. And he's a wonderful grandfather, great grandfather, great great grandfather, uncle, brother-in-law, all of those things. And I'm just amazed, and I'm very proud of him.
I want to say happy birthday. You are the best guy in the world. You meant so much to everybody in this community and to us players, and I appreciate it.
Words can explain the 100 years that he's put on this earth, and the many more he's got to come. So I can't bring out the words except for I'm grateful to have him here, and I will be here every time I can, every chance I get to be here with him.
Well, it's just thank you. We love you. Thank you for being someone that everybody can respect, being a model for everybody to try to model on, black or white, and just being the kind of person that you wish everybody could be, but is very, very rare.
I just like to know that it's a blessing to know that you is a pillar in this community. You serve in many aspects. Besides, that's what coaching is all about, and the things that you say that we believe in it, and it makes us motivate us to know that if he can do it, we can do it, and that's a strong message, and that's what people need to hear today.
I just tell him that he meant so much to so many people. I think a lot of teachers and coaches forget how many lives they've influenced. And I was a teacher myself for 37 years. And the fact that he has touched those lives for all those years, exponential how many people that he's affected. It's thousands and thousands of people. And they're here today to represent and tell him how much they appreciate him.
I would say, Coach, the life you live is here for a reason. You're not here for 100 years just because you're passing a journey. You are here because a lot more work you have to do, a lot more stories you have to tell. And you are here to bring up those people who have not had the experience or the wisdom that a person like you have. So I don't expect him to die anytime soon. I expect him to be around for longer. I expect to be here at least another 5 or 10 more years. That's how much faith. I'm not saying he's Moses, but I'm saying he's pretty close in my eye.
I'd like to say, Coach, happy birthday and thank you so much for teaching all us guys in the right path so we all took the right path here in our society. You were a big influence on all of us.
You're gonna make me emotional. Um, just thank you for giving your life and being an example. And we thank God for allowing our granddaddy to pour into so many. You know, it's exponential. So yes, we'll have quite the parade coming through, but it reaches far beyond just those that are here today. And so I would just, on this birthday message, I would just thank God for the life of Coach Eddie Shannon.
Oh, Uncle Eddie, thank you so much for all that you have done. You've been with me since I was a little girl. We've had so many road trips together. I appreciate you. You were there when my mom was sick. You were there when she passed away. You have never ever ever left my side, and my heart is heavy right now. And I just say thank you. I love you. You are the Shannon patriarch, and forever will you live deep, deep inside of me.
Oh, granddaddy, I just pray that the Lord continue to bless you. I pray that you just continue in your right mind. I pray that you just continue with your influence and that you continue in joy and hope. We love you so very much, so very much.
You just said something I said. I'm gonna do my best to keep it going.
Yes, sir. Keep it going. Yeah. Love you, granddaddy.
Oh my goodness, that's a powerful. I just hope he lives to this time next year. I hope we're doing the same party again. But for him to have the mental capacity that he has, the tenacity, the strength, we're fighting with him to keep this mask on. He wants to jump up and go and hug and love on everybody out here, but we're doing it as a family trying to protect him. But hey, I can't tell you how much love I have for him. The only thing we do is just try to show him as often as we can. But God has just given us a blessing that is beyond measure. There's absolutely no words to say how much we love and appreciate this guy on this day.
Granddaddy, I appreciate the foundation that you laid for this family. I appreciate the love that you've given this family, the example that you've been to all of us. What you've taught me over the years is how much relationships are important, how much family is important, how much the community is important. And I can see that manifestation just here in this little town of Palmetto, Florida. And how you are so honored. And I want to make sure that I carry that legacy by being a person of character, a person of integrity, a person of honesty, just representing everything that you represent. I love you so much. You're such a blessing to me. And I love you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Catman. Coach Shannon, happy birthday to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Coach Shannon. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. The key to it, I love you, I do. Yes.